Well, I mean, if you have the passion, dedication, you'll have a better chance of really making it. And just, you got to train and you got to pay your dues. You got to train. You got to work out. You got to work on the cardio. And weights are very important, of course, but the cardio is very, very important. Do a lot of cardio, work out, eat right. I'm on a low carb diet. I do high protein vegetables, fruits, and I'm on a low carb diet. Don't get me wrong, one day a week I cheat. I'll pig out, maybe I'll eat a burger and french fries. But other than that, you got to eat right. You got to, and I recommend low carb diet, high protein, vegetables, working out, working out in the gym, even running outside. Listen, there's times where I don't even want to go to the gym. If it's nice outside, I don't want to go to the gym. You know what I do? I go running. Running outside is a great workout too. So the training, the diet, the dedication, taking risks. And as I said, the EGW guys, guys like Draven Blaze, Justin Henry, these guys have the passion, dedication, they take risks. And guys like that are going to make it.
Awesome. Well, I think that guy has one more question, then we're going to break for a song, and we'll come back with more about EGW in particular. So,
Bro, great, because I'm on a high-carb diet, and I like the fact that you're, showing your stuff off, and you're inspirational to many of us.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Before we go to a song, I just want to ask you, are you as big of a Brock Lesnar fan as the Quinn is?
Oh, God, I hate Brock. Oh, no. I hate Brock Lesnar.
We've talked about him numerous times on the show.
Brock Lesnar, you know what?
Brock Lesnar.
Okay, I'm going to just be real open with you guys for a second here. Well, Brock Lesnar, don't get me wrong, he's a great worker. He was great in the MMA and UFC and all that stuff. And I like MMA too. I have a lot of respect for those people. MMA guys are very, very professional. I've been around them. Brock Lesnar, I think, is great and all. He's not really my favorite. One thing I like, even though he doesn't cut promos, I like the fact that Paul Heyman does do the promos for him, because being a manager is a lost art in this business. I like the fact that that's being brought back. But I'm not really a Brock Lesnar fan. Realistically, guys, when it comes to the workers now, I like Daniel Bryan. But again, when it comes to the wrestlers of today, I would really am really into the older guys. I like Hall, Nash, Hogan. I really like the older guys the best. But with the new talent today, I would say I like Daniel Bryan. I like AJ Styles. I like the match on Impact last week was great with AJ and Magnus for the TNA unified title, you could call it. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan.
What about CM Punk?
CM Punk is good, but I'm not really a fan of him. I like Austin Aries because he has that, I like his look. He kind of reminds me of Randy Savage a little bit when you look at his face and the beard. It just reminds me of Randy Savage. I love his look because it's very traditional, and I like that. So I would say Aries, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. Those guys really, stick out to me. The guys in CZW are great. Joe Gacy is a talented worker. I worked a show with him that he was promoting. He's back in '06. A good guy. Nathan Avery is another guy, a friend of mine, acquaintance. And I'm a fan of his work. He's a guy on the indie circuit, great guy, one of the nicest guys you can meet in the business. So, those are my handful of favorites. But Brock Lesnar really isn't my favorite, but don't get me wrong, he's a talented worker.
I just had to throw that out there just because I know how much the Quinn does not like him.
I hate Brock Lesnar. So I almost said I hate the Quinn. Well, that might be true sometimes too. All right, so we're going to go to a song real quick. We'll have more with Justin in just a moment. First, I want to introduce M. Coop and K Off Feed with Go Get It. M.'s going to be on with us in a few weeks. I'll have more on that later. More with Justin when we come back. All right, so now we pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready?
I'm good.
All this will be edited, so... Yeah, well, we're going to ask you something real quick off there.
Justin, do you know John Cannon?
John Cannon? The name sounds familiar.
Yeah. He lives in PA. I actually ring announce and work for New Jersey promotion, women's promotion, Indie Girls. But NHPW was the other promotion that my friend runs. But John Cannon lives in PA, so I don't know if you knew him.
I know of him. No, I know of him. But I've never really seen his work or anything. But I've heard of him. Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
All right, we ready to roll again? Cool. Dead. All right. Well, we'll come back and we'll give you the opportunity to ask it. Are we ready? Yeah. Quinn Spinn. That was M.Coop and K-Off-B with Go Get It. Now, the man wanted to start off this with second interview segment with Justin Chardua. We're back with Justin. You want to start off the question?
It's a pleasure to have you here, Justin. Thank you.
I love you, the man.
Oh, well, I love you as well.
Big fan of the man.
Yeah.
I am a fan of the man. Oh yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Wait, I got to pause for the hey now, because this is like the first fan of the man ever. So let's just pause for a second. And we're back.
Yes, so my question was, I looked up some industry terms. Are you a heel or a face?
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm supposed to be a heel, but there was an incident that took place last Thursday on WVOX Radio, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. I'm supposed to be a heel at this point. I'm supposed to be a leader of a faction, too, called the Bad Creation. But, you know, I prefer to work heel, but what happened last week, I don't know. I don't know now.
So why don't we get into that a little bit? You actually did another media appearance. Why don't you tell us a bit about that radio interview and the unexpected caller that you got?
Yeah, okay. You know, I went on there, and basically what we expected was myself. I was in the studio as a guest, and then we had my buddy Draven Blaze, whose father is promoting the EGW show. It's his father's promotion. Draven Blaze called in as a guest. So we expected myself and Draven Blaze to just be the guest, and Draven, I said, called in. However, we got this really, really bizarre caller who calls himself Frankie Firestarter. Now, I don't know if this is a prank or this is a wrestler trying to make a name for himself. Rob Connor, the ring announcer from NEWA, who I worked with, thinks that this is some indie guy who's trying to put himself over. Now, the guy decides to call up. He decides to give me shit. He decides to, you know, try to bust my balls and say stuff like he's going to burn me. But then he says stuff to me like I'm nothing. Then he used the comparison for the Ultimate Warrior. I guess he said something. His call was a bit muffled. Then he ends up using the F word, says fucking on the air. And then we had to have the sound engineer press the red button and censor what he said. Now, all I want to say about this Frankie Firestarter, maybe he's watching right now, listening right now. All I want to say is I dare, on Saturday, March the 8th, at EGW, at Salvation Army, in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, I'm daring this Frankie Firestarter to show his ass, to show his face in the arena. Hell, I'll even pay for his ticket. Now, I don't know, who knows? Maybe it's a wrestler, maybe it's a 16-year-old nerd who's sitting on his chair, on his laptop, jerking off three times a day, watching lesbian porn. It could be that too, or it could be some sort of hot indie guy that's trying to, you know, use a new gimmick and trying to put himself over. All I want to say is, Frankie Firestarter, I dare you to come March 8th. Frankie Firestarter, if you want, after I finish my opponent, by the way, I'm wrestling Sega. As I finish off Sega, I want to give him the Sodomizer DDT, my finisher. I'll finish him off within 2 to 3 minutes, and then after that, who knows, I'll go in the parking lot and I'll wait for Frankie Firestarter in the parking lot, and we can have a parking lot brawl.
Fighting words there from.
I'm telling you the truth, and I don't need any backup for this.
We'll get into who your opponent is. You said Sega. But first, I know that guy has something, and you always unpredictable.
I was just like, I'm a big fan of the string cheese incident band. I was just curious because we earlier were discussing the Swiss cheese incident person. So I'm going to be done with this. I was just curious. How do you feel about the local bands in Pennsylvania since you're out of that area?
Well, he's out of New York.
Out of New York and
There's a big music scene there.
No. Let me cut you off for a second.
Some of your favorite bands because we do this.
Okay.
We play a lot of independent music here on the Quinn Spinn. So.
I'm happy you asked me this because I'm actually an underground gothic music type of guy. I'm a heavy metal underground music type of guy.
Quite a bit of that.
Yeah, we like to share that.
Well, I'm happy you mentioned about the Pennsylvania thing because there actually is a band based out of Pennsylvania that I do like. I don't know if you heard of them. They're called Tapping the Vein. And it's a female front band. And I became a fan of theirs in 2000. I have their debut album that they released. It's an LP. And I love Tapping the Vein. They're a great gothic band out of Philly. I recommend if there's anyone listening right now that, you know, never even heard of Tapping the Vein, I recommend you check them out, definitely.
We might have to reach out to them. They might become our next good friends of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you know what? We've ton about your awesome gig and everything you're doing. And I was like, let me just get a little more involved in, like, what do you like to listen to? And we are about supporting bands and local superstars like yourself. So, thanks. Just, you know, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we're always looking to spread the word. So let's go into some of your what you're going to be doing on the EGW show. Now, let's talk a bit about your opponent. Tell us about him.
Sega, we were talking about him last week on the WX radio show. Sega's a guy who wears a black mask, and one of his trademark holds is tickling people.
Ooh.
So I got an interesting match. I got to work with a guy who likes to tickle people.
All right. How do you counter something like that?
Well, I mean, now I'm, when I was Gia-Savitz, I worked more of a pussy type style. But now I don't do that anymore. Now that I'm the Nomad now, and I'm doing this whole gothic thug type gimmick. By the way.
Yeah, the man here knows all about tickling.
Oh, yes, big fan of tickles, you know.
Do you finger yourself?
And that was our friend Bruce who likes to flutter in here once in a while. So where else can we catch Sega? Where else can we catch some of these other wrestlers that are in EGW?
Sega is basically a homegrown talent. He's basically strictly an EGW guy. He doesn't really work any other territories outside. So yeah, Sega is basically just strictly just an EGW homegrown talent, pure superstar who doesn't work any other territories, but he only works EGW. But he likes to tickle. But as I said, it shouldn't take me too long. I got my sodomizer DDT. I'll sodomize him, and definitely win the match that way. But I got another arsenal of holds and moves, definitely. But I'm not too worried and not too scared about Sega at all. I think the match will be okay. I'm just, I think, and then as I said, Frankie Firestarter, if he shows up, that'll be an easy pickings too.
Very nice, dishing out the beatings all around.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to see if any of my co-hosts here have any other questions before we wrap up, and I'll let you say some final thoughts.
Okay, just want to.
Well, I'd like to say, do you wear a cup? Oh, excuse me.
Do I wear a cup? No, I would just wear my leather pants. And
thanks for doing it wrong.
I wear my leather pants, and I don't wear any underwear underneath. I just wear my leather pants when I wrestle, and that's it.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Now,
all right. You got a round of applause for that one here in the studio. Anything else you want to add about the show, about anything?
Well, just want to say, definitely come to Elite Generation Wrestling again Saturday night, March the 8th. As I said, new date, same venue, 7 p.m. Salvation Army, 105 W Broad Street, Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. Tickets are $10 and under. I believe kids are $5. You're going to see a hell of a show. Draven Blaze, Justin Henry, of course Sega, the Nomad, and who knows, hopefully Frankie Firestarter. Hopefully I'll see you in Tamaqua.
All right, we can only hope. All right, thank you so much, Justin, for joining us. Thank you. Let's give him a quick round of applause here. So next up, we have another new Quinn Spinn artist. It's Tara Lane. There are 2 R's in Tara, and wait till you hear this. This is awesome. This is her song, Heated. It's right here on the Quinn Spinn. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the Quinn Spinn and Frankie Firestarter. If you're watching right now here on YouTube, this is the real world. You can't face it, you can't take it, and don't you forget it. And I will see you in Tamaqua, pal, on March the 8th.